In a fast-paced world, every day brings new challenges and new opportunities. At Strayer University, we know a thing or two about getting and staying ahead of change. For over 130 years, we've been providing students like you with innovative tools, customized support, and an education built to empower you, so you can find your way forward and always keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back, Sean. What's up, my brother? It's Gentry.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to have you on. I've been checking out this new show that you're involved with. Welcome to Flatch. I like it because it's different. This is like something I've never seen before. Explain what you've been working on here.
Well, thanks, dude. So welcome to Flatch. It's kind of, well, I'll tell you the premise of the show. It's a documentary crew travels to Flatch, Ohio, to kind of follow these locals of this small town, and it mainly follows these two cousins. They're in like their mid-20s, and they're kind of like lovable idiots. They haven't figured out what they want to do with their lives, and most of the time they're just trying to figure out what to do from day to day, and then the rest of the kind of weirdo locals in the town, and but it's very reminiscent of Parks and Rec, Letterkenny, Schitt's Creek, with the documentary format. But it's really, really funny, and it is different. It's different than a lot of the TV shows that we see, on right now.
And you're playing Father Joe, which is a role we're not used to you seeing, like some kind of evangelist. How about this role? How did you get yourself prepared to be the preacher man?
Yeah, Father Joseph Binghofer. Yeah, but he's not a Catholic priest. They just call him Father Joe. He's just like a normal minister. But the character for me, what I thought was kind of fun was he was a former lead singer of a Christian boy band called Amen, and then they were a big success, and then he decided to start a solo career that bombed, and then his life just kind of went a little dark after that, and then he was like, you know what, I'm gonna become a minister, and we kind of find him right around that time in the show, so he's not that experienced, and he's kind of in over his head. And I thought that's a fun character to play. And he's not the smartest guy either. So, but yeah, it's a bit different than most of the characters that I've played, which are, wild party guys. But I still think that Father Joe he really had some experiences.
He had a wild side.
Going through his dark time.
I could tell that he had his moment in the shine, for sure. Our guest, Seann William Scott, the new show, Welcome to Flatch. It premieres on Fox. It's streaming on Hulu. Check it out when you get a chance. You had mentioned Schitt's Creek or Schitt Creek. I love that show. And I know you worked a lot with Eugene Levy. He seems to be in a lot of the movies that you've been in. And this guy inspires me because what a career. I remember the first time I saw him, it was Splash with Tom Hanks. And he kind of played a villain, and then you just continually see him show up, and he never really got that A-lister credibility. But now in his 70s, I mean, imagine that. It's like the guy is peaking in his 70s. What's that guy like to work with? And I'm sure you're proud of all the work that he's had here recently.
Oh man! First of all, by the way, the guy doesn't age.
He looks the same as he did in Splash.
It is so weird, but he is just one of the nicest, coolest people I've ever met. Not just like actors, but just people. And like, I remember when we did the last American Pie, and it was in 2012, and I finally had a chance to really hang with him. And we were traveling, we were on a plane doing press, and we were sitting next to each other on the flight, and that was like, I'll never forget it because he was so kind and just awesome. And what was really cool was he was with his son. And his son was like, yeah, I think, from what I remember, he was like, yeah, I'm a writer, and he might have been at that time writing the show, and then, a few years later, he's huge as well. So, no, but it's it's just awesome. I mean, there are not that many actors that have had that kind of success for that long. And then all of a sudden, now, I think he's bigger than ever, which is all so well-deserved. But just a great guy. When you watch him, you like him. And a lot of that is because he is just a really wonderful human being.
Yeah, amazing to be peaking in your 70s. Proud of him, and he inspires guys like you and me in our 40s, saying, "Hey, man, maybe there's still hope for us to get to the land,
or maybe not,
or maybe not." Let's look back on some of your previous roles. We're joined here by Seann William Scott. Of course, people remember him as Stifler. You played the goon in the hockey movies. You also have played a killer, Evan in Bloodline. Of all the characters you've played throughout your movie career, which one do you think is the most like the real Seann William Scott, if there's any one of them?
Well, hopefully not like the serial killer in Bloodline.
Yeah, you don't want to be Evan from Bloodline. any of them that.
Yeah, which, by the way, I remember watching it with my mom, and my mom just looking at me, just going, like being afraid. Just wondering if maybe there was something about me she didn't know that I was like, whatever. But I don't think there's any character that I've played that is like, there's probably little things maybe in Stifler, and little things in like the character and role models, and maybe even a little tiny bit of Doug Glatt in Goon that is similar to me. Hopefully I'm not. Hopefully I'm a little bit smarter than Doug Glatt in Goon, but there's like probably little things that I sprinkled in all those characters that are part of my personality, but not one character that's like, oh, that's exactly like me.
And you're a unique celebrity, Seann, in a sense that I don't believe you have a social media. I don't see you on Instagram or Twitter. You're not out clout chasing. You're not going to the Hollywood parties. It's like you're almost not playing the.
The first step to reaching your full potential is having the courage to start. At Strayer University, we help students take action by making higher education more affordable with access to up to 10 no-cost gen ed courses. Because our goal is helping you work toward yours, so you can always keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. No-cost gen ed is provided by Strayer University affiliate Sophia Learning. Eligibility rules apply. Connect with us for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Game. But you're still able to get all this work. Can you explain why you've stayed away from social media? I mean, I think it's a good thing, to be honest with you, especially since you're staying busy with work. But why not have a Twitter? I'm sure people in your camp are in your ear saying, you got to do this. Everybody's doing it, but you're not.
They did. You know what? It's like I'm just really private, and I'm also the kind of person where, if I'm going to do something, I want to do it and be great. And I think early on when social media was, kind of starting, I was like, I could tell just kind of outside my comfort level. And then at one point I did start a Twitter, I would say like 10 years or 8 years ago, for one day. And that one day, like, I felt so overwhelmed to respond to the comments. I was like, oh man, this is stressing me out. And I canceled it. But I don't think it's been a great thing, to be honest, because, I think it is good to put yourself out there, but it's just not, it's something I just knew that I wouldn't be very good at. But it's funny because I ran into somebody the other day. I think it was like somebody from Amazon who like delivered a package, and he was like, oh man, I thought you were dead. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't see you on any of the social media. I was like, so because of that, you thought I was dead? He's like, yeah, I'm glad you're alive.
I wish more people would do what you're doing and stay away from social media, because I think for everything that's good about it, there's definitely 2 or 3 things that are bad about it, especially with our children. You don't have any children, do you? You have any kids?
No, but I honestly, I would say I agree. Like I think that's the other like concern is like, I don't want to be on there and start to feel shitty about myself because somebody says something negative, So I have a great appreciation for, artists that really do it well. And it's really great. And I think that they really benefit from it. And I think I probably could have benefited from, having a social media account that, was good. But I just knew, I was like, I'm just not made that way.
Well, when I told everybody that around the studio here that you were coming on the show, most people, unfortunately, were interested about your mom. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. I mentioned it to a few people in the studio. They're like, "Oh man, ask him about Stifler's mom. Is she really hot?"
So funny.
So I was like, "Well, it might be interesting to ask him." I read that your mother's name is Patty, your real mom. What was it like growing up, Seann William Scott, as little Stifler with your mother? I mean, was she the hot mom? I mean, how did that work out? You growing up with your beautiful mother, Patty.
That's so funny. She told me the other day. Well, first of all, growing up, I was very different than the Stifler character, and my mom could not be more different than Stifler's mom. My mom, grew up in church. We're at church every Sunday. She's very religious, but she's cool. She's not, obviously, if I'm her son and you look at the movies that I've done, she doesn't pass judgment on me. She's still watching all this stuff and just laughing, but she told me the other day, she's like, I was at the grocery store, and I told the guy at the checkout stand, she's like, I'm Stifler's mom. And I was like, hey, why would you say that? She's like, I don't know. It's hard to say it. It was funny. It was like, no, yeah, exactly. She's definitely very different than Jennifer Coolidge's character in American Pie, but she's also cool, and she'll party.
And you grew up in a somewhat small town just south of Minneapolis and St. Paul, Cottage Grove. Any similarities to Cottage Grove and Flatch, this small town in this new show you're on?
You know what? Flatch is much smaller than the town that I grew up in. But I think, the fact that we kind of, in Cottage Grove, we kind of knew, we didn't know everybody in the town, but, it was a small enough town where you knew, you had a great sense of community, and there was obviously a lot of eccentric personalities, and, you had, but in Flatch, it's very small. It's much smaller than where I grew up.
Our guest, Seann William Scott, he's got a brand new show out called Welcome to Flatch. It's premiering on Fox this week. Of course, everybody's streaming nowadays. You can also watch it on Hulu. Very unique show where our guest plays Father Joe, a new role for our guest. When you're a kid, Seann, growing up in Cottage Grove, Mother Patty is making you some cookies. What kind of movies were you watching when you were growing up, Seann? What was some of your flicks, your go-to flicks as a young adolescent?
I would watch, all the good movies that would come out every weekend. That was our thing. Every weekend, my friends and I would go to the movie theater, and it was funny because I would say a couple years before I moved to LA to pursue acting, that's when Dumb and Dumber, and I ended up working at the movie theater before I moved to LA, our local movie theater, and we had Dumb and Dumber and obviously Ace Ventura, and so those comedies we were just laughing our asses off. But my oldest brother was a film theory major, and so when I was really young, he turned me on to movies like Clockwork Orange and Chinatown and The Shining and Hal Ashby movies. So I was watching films at a young age that I don't think a lot of kids were watching, and that definitely influenced me, when I moved to LA, because I was like, I really want to do dark, weird things, and then ended up doing American Pie, which ended up, my character did do some dark, weird stuff, so just in a different genre.
And you also worked with Johnny Knoxville in The Dukes of Hazzard. Was that a show that you watched growing up? Because that's probably right in your wheelhouse with your age and you being a kid when that show was on primetime television.
That was my show. That was Dukes of Hazzard was my favorite show growing growing up, and it was pretty cool to be in the movie. But man, Johnny Knoxville, legend.
What a crazy.
Have you spoken to him?
I've never interviewed him, but I do have Steve-O on the show quite a bit. I've talked to him quite a few times.
He's also great too.
Did he ever try talking you into jackass stunts? Because I would think you with your characters you've played, you would be the perfect jackass. The way at least you portray yourself in some of these shows. Did he ever say, "Hey, come on, Seann, I got just the stunt for you," and do a cameo in a movie, or did that never come up?
You know what? He never. I think he knew very early on that I wasn't bold enough to do any of the stuff that they were doing. But I was in a little clip. I think it was Jackass 3. I was on the sidelines. I was fat too. I think I was getting fat for Goon, and so that's probably why you didn't notice. But it was a scene. It was where he was Knoxville was catching a football, and Jared Allen. I think it was Jared Allen tackles him hard. It crushes him. So that was the only jackass involvement that I had, but I felt it was really fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, those movies are nuts and hard to believe. Steve-O still in his 40s and showing his junk. I mean, what confidence you have to pull your junk out on the big screen.
No, it's hilarious. No, I don't know how those guys do it. It's amazing.
You talked about the role of Doug Glatt that you played in the movie Goon, and there was a sequel to this movie as well. Were you a big hockey fan? I mean, being in Minnesota, you would think that's the go-to sport in Minnesota.
Yeah, in Minnesota. You know what? I would watch my friends play hockey. I played the sports that my dad played, so I played baseball, basketball, and football. So when we did Goon, I think that my character was supposed to be able to skate. I mean, clearly much better than I did in the movie, and I might have fibbed to the director and the producers and like, oh, no, yeah, I can skate. I'm a great skater. And I got the job, and then on set, they're like, oh, my God, this guy's terrible. I couldn't stop, the only way I could stop was skating into the boards, so I think they were just like, guess we're going to have to, adjust the show or the movie, and that's what the character is going to be. But no, I loved watching my friends play hockey, but I never played it.
Well, you pulled it off.
The first step to reaching your full potential is having the courage to start. At Strayer University, we help students take action by making higher education more affordable with access to up to 10 no-cost gen ed courses. Because our goal is helping you work toward yours, so you can always keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. No-cost gen eds provided by Strayer University affiliate Sophia Learning. Eligibility rules apply. Connect with us for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Coffee. You were also an ass kicker in that movie. Quite a headbutt you could give in that film. Were you much of a fighter growing up, Seann William Scott? Did you kick some ass?
No, I didn't. I never really got into fights, but I had some friends that were good fighters. But no, I was a peaceful type of kid.
Well, this is what makes you such a great actor, because as I watch Stifler and I watch Doug Glatt, I'm thinking that you are really, you really kick ass, and you're really willing to screw someone's mom. I mean, I feel like you do a great job at acting, and you can see some of his skills in his very new show, brand new, premieres this week on Fox. Welcome to Flatch. Stream it on Hulu. Seann William Scott, our guest. You also worked with Kevin Smith. I have some friends of mine who say, Kevin Smith, he's the greatest director ever. Jay and Silent Bob, a critically acclaimed film. What was it like working with Kevin Smith, and what makes him so unique? People seem to really, really respect that guy.
First of all, he's just one of the nicest, just coolest people. Like you're around him and you're just happy. Because the other thing too is he is so funny. Everything he says is just funny. And so, the first chance I had to work with him was on Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And he creates an environment where you can try anything, and you don't feel like you're making a mistake. And then every time he would throw an idea out, it was always funny. You always have to take a second to laugh at what you were about to say, the idea that he threw out, before actually trying it. And then I worked with him in Cop Out, and again, it was this funny character that I played, but then it became something totally different. It was because he was just encouraged, improvising, and he would just always throw out so many funny lines or ideas. I love the guy. He's such a great guy, but so funny. I don't know if have you ever seen his Q&As?
I never have, but I know people
you gotta go online. You'll laugh. He just goes on. I don't know if he's been doing it recently, but in the past he'll just go in for this huge audience and just take questions, and he'll go tell us stories, and they're so funny, dude. He's just a naturally incredibly funny person.
We got Steve-O coming up later on the show here today, but he has a new comedy special, or he's going out on tour, and it's called Bucket List. It got me thinking, if I have some things on my own bucket list, I'm curious if Seann William Scott has anything left on his bucket list. You're in your mid-40s, still plenty of time to live. I know you've done lots of living, but is there something on that bucket list of yours that you would like to check off that you haven't throughout your life?
Yeah. Nothing comes to mind. I mean, definitely. I think I don't even want to think about the bucket list. You know what I mean? Because then it's I'm already planning. I'm already planning, my death in a way. You know what I mean?
I understand. I can understand that. So you just want to live life as you do.
My head, but I don't want to make the list, and I want to look at it, and then it's what if I get to the end and I'm 50? I'm is it over?
Well, I got something on my to-do list to do, and that's watch this new show, Welcome to Flatch. Make sure you check it out. Seann William Scott, I appreciate your time, man, and best of luck with this show, and thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, my brother.
Thanks for having me on. It's great talking to you.
In a world that's constantly changing, you have to move forward to change with it. At Strayer University, we see you striving to work harder and go further. That's why we provide you with the tools you need to get there, like offering a brand new laptop when you enroll in a bachelor's program, so you can do your coursework anytime, anywhere. Because our greatest strength is helping you unlock yours, so you can always keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. Eligibility rules, restrictions, and exclusions apply. Connect with us for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from, with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.